Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have in front of us the much anticipated 8350i Curve BlackBerry for the Nextel iDEN network. This BlackBerry is scheduled to come out sometime in December. We're hearing rumors anywhere between the 2nd and the 15th. We've got our hands on one. We're going to go ahead and give you a review of this. We're going to break the review into 3 different parts. The first part of the review, we're going to talk about the hardware. That's the actual device itself, mainly the outside of the device. Then we'll jump in to the software, which is the operating system of the BlackBerry, and then we'll touch a little bit on the accessories, the aftermarket accessories which you can get for this BlackBerry. So the first thing that you'll notice is this is very similar to the current BlackBerries which are out on the market, the current BlackBerry Curves. You've got your dedicated talk and end keys, you have your menu key, your back button, again you have the full QWERTY keyboard, and your LED display is actually, rather than on the GSM Curves, where the LED display is on the housing itself, this follows along the lines of the 8330 series, the CDMA Curves, where the LED is actually on the front of the device, which, personal preference, I actually think that it gives a sleeker look on the front of the device rather than on the housing, but again, that's just my opinion. So we'll move to the right-hand side of the device. This is very similar. In fact, this is the exact same as the current Curves which are out on the market. You'll just notice that the convenience key, which is located halfway up the device, and the volume keys, rather than the standard chrome, which are on the Curves which are out now, they've actually replaced this with black. So it looks really good on the device itself there. It matches in really well with the rest of the device. Moving to the back of the device, down here you have your little charge connection, so that if you wanted to use any type of desktop holder for it, you do have that ability, and it does work. We've already tested that with the charging pod. You have your self-portrait mirror, so if you are using the camera and you want to take a picture of yourself and make sure that you're in the picture, you can use your self-portrait mirror. 2 megapixel camera. This is both a still camera and a video camera. In order to use the video, you will have to have a micro SD card, which we'll get into a little bit later when we get into the device itself. And then you have your flash. The flash, again, we'll get into that a little bit more when we get into the camera options on the software of the device. You can actually have the flash on at all times, you can turn it off at all times, or you can have it set to automatic, where the device will automatically know if it needs to turn the light on or not. Moving to the left-hand side of the device, there's a few changes over here. Again, you have your USB charge port. Again, this is used for your syncing or your charging of the BlackBerry device. On the standard Curves, this button right here would be a convenience key. However, on the Nextel device, this is going to be your push-to-talk key. So you cannot reassign your push-to-talk key to the right-hand side of the device. You can't reassign this key right here to be any type of convenience key. So this is going to be your push-to-talk key here. And then another thing, it's going to be a little bit difficult to notice on the video. The standard Curves which are out there, the GSM and the 8330 Curves, use a 3.5 millimeter jack for the headphones. This is actually going to come with a 2.5 millimeter headphone jack. The reasoning behind this is there are a lot of people out there that use the wired headsets with the current Nextel BlackBerries, the 71 series and the 7520s. That way it's not chirping at you, or you're not having to use it as the walkie-talkie. You can use the headset instead. Now, this will come in the box. You will have a 2.5 millimeter stereo headset jack. This is good, but if you want to just use the wired headsets which you're currently using with your Nextel devices, your Nextel BlackBerries, so that you don't have the extra headphone dangling from your neck, or you don't have to shove it into your shirt, you still will be able to use those as well. I'm going to go ahead and open up the back of the device here for a second just to show you a few things. First off, you're going to notice that it's going to come with the same type of battery that the 88 series batteries do. This is maybe a little bit difficult to notice here on camera. Go ahead and pull out one of the batteries for the current BlackBerry Curves. You notice that it's more of a high capacity battery. It's going to give you a lot more talk life, so you don't have to worry about the device running out of juice by the end of the day. Again, so this will save you quite a bit of headache for those of you that are heavy BlackBerry users. You're using your Direct Connect and your email and your multimedia a lot. This will definitely get you through one day's worth of work. And then on the back here, just show you, here's where the micro SD card goes, standard on all the rest of the Curves. Put your micro SD card in there. And then this is where your SIM card slot would go. This is very similar to where the SIM card slots are on the GSM BlackBerries, the GSM Curves that are out there right now. The SIM card is easy to get in, but it's a little bit difficult to get out. So again, you shouldn't be swapping out your SIM card in the BlackBerry all too often. But if you do, it's going to be quite a pain to get out. And in fact, I'm not even going to try to take it out because it's just a little bit too difficult to do that. I'm going to stick the battery back in here and let this boot up so that we can do the software. One other thing that I do want to show here is on the top of the device. On the top of the BlackBerry, obviously you have your mute key. However, what you may notice is this is a little bit different. The plastic that they put on the top of the Nextel BlackBerry is a harder plastic rather than the softer rubberized plastic which is along the sides and which is on the current Curves. In my opinion, this is a good thing, and the reason being is that this will actually come with a holster, the plastic holster. You're not going to get the pouch like the other BlackBerries do. This one will actually come with a holster. And if this were the rubberized top right here, and I'm going to show you something, let me go ahead and show you this BlackBerry right here. This has been using the same type of holster. And you can see right there that the rubberized plastic is starting to come off. This has only been being used for about a week here, so you can imagine what this is going to look like after a month worth of use. This area right here probably is going to be worn down all the way to the plastic. So with the 8350, again, this is hard plastic, so you're not going to have to worry about that rubbing off there. Fits right into the clip. Now another thing that you're going to notice, and I'm going to show you this here, is that the 8350 is a little bit larger than the current BlackBerries which are out there. This is an 8330 on Sprint, and you're going to notice that it falls right out of the holster. However, if you stick the 8350 in, the 8350 fits just fine. So the 8350 is a little bit taller. Again, this is going to be a little bit difficult to see. It's a little bit taller, and it is a little bit thicker than the current BlackBerry Curves which are out there. So don't go out and rush and get yourself a bunch of accessories for the 8330s and the 8310s thinking that they'll work on the 8350. They will not. Some of them will. Your charge ports and everything, obviously, are going to remain the same. But when it comes to things like OtterBoxes or the skins, those will not fit. And once we get into the accessories, we're going to show you a little bit more about that. So we're going to wait for this thing to finish booting up, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the software. So back in just a few.